It is day one, 2025. First and foremost, Happy New Year to everybody watching. I hope you had a nice, safe New Year. You spent it with loved ones, whether you celebrated and were up past watching the ball drop, or you cut it off early, like I've done in years past. I hope you have the 2025 that you plan for, which I would assume is going to be a good one. Before I get into what I want to do and what my plans are for 2025, I'm going to look back, and right now I'm at my laptop and I'm looking at my numbers for 2024 on eBay to see if there was any improvement over last year.
Overall, this is interesting if nothing else. I did $140,000 in gross sales. My net was 91. I have not calculated my cost of goods for the year, so you have to take that into consideration. But you could look at my average sales price from last year. It went down 10%, and that's to be expected when your volume increases at 20% like mine. And the reason for that is I was buying obviously lower dollar items and selling lower dollar items. But the fact that I was able to grow my quantity sold by 20% without even really noticing it on the shipping end is something to be encouraged by. So I'm only up 5% net year over year. But if I can be up 20% in 2024 with quantity sold, I can do it again and still not really feel it again on the shipping end. It's just a matter of buying more things, selling more things, and shipping more things. That's really it. So my goal, or one of my goals, and I'm putting this out there, if I fall flat on my face, it is what it is, and all of this is subject to change, is to get from where I'm at right now, which is 2,100. I think I have 2,100, no, around 2,000 to 2,100 active listings. And I want to get to 3,000. That's incredibly ambitious. Am I going to be able to do that as just one person? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try. But yeah, to go up 20% and really not feel it is great. The 5% increase in net sales is a little bit discouraging, but quantity sold is the number that I'm going to continue to focus on, because I think I can just continue to buy more of the items that are not so high dollar and just continue to sell and ship them. So at the end of the day, a lot of eBay bargain hunters out there. So catering to the crowd that, spends money in the $20 to $25 range, I am not above sourcing those things and selling to people that like to shop in that price range. So that's where my brain is at for eBay.
So there's a lot to build on. I don't, as a single individual seller with no help, I can only work and do some things. It's hard to scale. So if I'm not going to hire help, the best I think I can do at this point, if I'm not going to do that, is maybe hire my oldest daughter to do some things for me, which could happen in 2025. But I'm satisfied with what happened in 2024, and I think there's a lot of things to build on. So what are we going to do on day one? I'm going to look over everything here, and I think I'm going to go, and you are going to come with me. We're going to go up to the store. I believe the Goodwills in the area are open today, so their hours might be slightly different, but I believe they're open at least for a small amount of time. So let's go into a store and see if we can hit the ground running and find anything to resell. And then maybe at the end, we will talk some more about goal setting and where I think I want to take 2025 professionally, and then even personally with my health, which I've seen a massive improvement since October, which is lovely. So I'll get into that at the end, but why don't we go do what we do? Let's hit the stores.
All right, let's get at it. Hear me out on Raising Cane's. It's a strong brand. It's popular here locally, and it sells well on eBay. So if you go into you can do yourself this favor. Go into eBay, search Raising Cane's hats. If you're on desktop, it'll give you around just under, I think, 300 listings that are active. But in the last 90 days, 150 have sold. So 150 over 280 to me, that's going to be enough for me to pick this hat up. I sell lots of Raising Cane stuff throughout the year, that hat's going to get me $15. I get it. It's not a ton of money, but that solds ratio to the amount of active listings, and you can go back 3 years using Terapeak to do research, is enough for me, especially knowing that the brand's going to sell. Everything that I have that says Raising Cane's eventually sells. I've sold that exact style hat before. I am happy to get $15 on something I know is going to sell in a relatively short amount of time. It's going to cost me $3. And yeah, that's not the biggest return. I'm okay with that, because if you do them enough and I can get that photographed really quickly, it all adds up. Same with this Starbucks mug. There's not a ton of Starbucks Scotland mugs. This is probably $15 to $20. I might be able to push it to $25, but there's not a lot of Starbucks Scotland mugs. That's not a You Are Here mug. Those mugs are popular, but I'm going with not necessarily the trend, but the thing I know is going to sell for me eventually. I'm assuming it's going to sell within 90 days. I sell roughly 30 to 40% of everything I list within the first 90 days. I get it listed, and I assume that the next 30 to 40% sells for me within 6 months. So I'll carry stuff for years, but with the Starbucks mugs, You Are Here, they're collectible. The tumblers are collectible. The Raising Cane's brand is a popular enough brand. Those things sell. It really does add up. I mean, cumulatively, it might take me 30 seconds at most to photograph that mug and photograph that hat. So ship time, 2-3 minutes, I can get it done. It really does add up. If you look at it on the back end, you know your numbers, you're strong enough at basic math, it really does butter your bread. That's why they say these are bread and butter items. So anything else going on in the mug area? I didn't see anything that I recognized, so I moved over to the markup rack, although I don't remember if this North Face puffer this is like a Thermoball Echo. I sold a gray one recently that was a 2X in this almost the exact same style for $75. If you look on that tag towards the bottom, that NF0A, if you key that into Google, a lot of times it will give you the actual style of the jacket. So this is like a Thermoball Nano Puff. I can't remember exactly. I just know, I didn't even have to look it up at the time, but it's a blue color. It's probably going to also sell for $75. Not knowing anything else about how well that color sells, but I sold the gray one previously for $75, and that's probably the area price-wise that this one is going to sell for me as well. And it will sell relatively fast because we are in the dead of winter here in the middle of Ohio and basically most points of the United States. So cold weather, it'll sell quick, get it moved, and it's a popular style. A lot of my North Face tends to sit a little bit. There's just so much of it. They sell at outlet locations that they have. So there's just a lot of North Face. I think North Face turns up, I would say probably 6, 7, 8 to 1 over the Patagonias of the world. It's probably like 20 to 1 over Cool. Cool is very hard for me to find. I do find it, but it's not as prevalent as even Patagonia, but certainly just a ton of North Face. So let's glance over the carts. This was recorded on the 1st, so there wasn't really, a ton to go on. It was just sort of slower, like as far as employees goes and getting new things out, slower from a customer's perspective as well, which was surprising to me. I was expecting more people to get out. But let's take a look at the carts and see if there's anything and maybe I missed, because when I looked at, and there were 4 of them total, I didn't really see anything that I thought I could work with. And this is the stuff that kind of comes out right from the back. So it's new, it's fresh, it's hopefully not picked over. A lot of staff in the back, but you never know. But I don't recognize anything here, at least these first 2, that will work. On this next cart, there was sort of you see that black jewelry box. I'll take a look at that in a second, although I don't pick it up. They had a bunch of leather wallets, but they looked like they were sort of generic branded leather wallets. There was a whole case of them, maybe 10 or so. I didn't think I could work with that. This was cool. I couldn't find a brand on it. Didn't bother to use Google Lens. I just sold a really nice cherry wood one recently for around $60, $70. You saw me source that in a video if you've been watching me for a little while. That was recent. Sold that one, but I didn't really know what I could do with the black one, and the rest of this stuff was pretty generic. So everything is either picked over at this point or there's just nothing to go on. So I went over to some of the fresh racks that came out, and I'm going to grab this pair of Carhartt. They're B01. The color is brown pants. They're not flame resistant, but they're like double knee. You see those? I've been a big proponent and advocate of people picking up Carhartts, but also charging more for Carhartt in 2025, because to me, it looks like the prices have increased on certain pieces. And I think this style of pant is one of the ones where you can ask for, say, $55. They do have it marked up to $15. Normally, a pair of jeans, I think, would be around $9. And then they charge for dress pants $5.30, something like that. So they've got these marked up, which I think it's still fair at $15. I'm going to list them for $55. I had to pass on these curtains from IKEA. It's been a while since I've seen like a bulk IKEA come through the stores, which is weird because we do have an IKEA location close to us, but I'm just not finding anything that's worth reselling in the IKEA side of things. But the Carhartts are definitely a good thing to pick up. And then if you look at this thing, Radio Shack, what was it, Illuma Storm? I thought this was interesting. And sure enough, this is a bolo. It's something that you want to keep your eye out for. I don't recall what the price was on this. So maybe when I pick it up and we twist and turn it, there's a tag on it. I don't know. Let's just say $3, $4. But these sell in between $35 and $45. I did see a few that were pre-owned sell in the $50 range, but that's something you definitely want to keep your eye out for because it's a pretty unassuming item that sells for pretty big money, if you ask me. So that was an exciting find. That kind of makes up for all of the rest of the items. I know the Carhartt ones will probably sell pretty quickly, so that was a good find there, but finding the Illuma Storm was exciting. So I'm going to dig through this area of the store. It's just like random home decor usually, but every now and then you'll find something that maybe someone has put back, or there's something in the back that I didn't catch the first time or nobody caught because it was hidden to look for. I'm always checking the bottoms of tags, but I didn't see anything else. So I'm going to be satisfied with the items I did find on a relatively quick trip to the thrift.
Since I think it was October, like I made a really dedicated commitment to getting myself back into shape. So we're talking October, November, December. In 3 months, what was I, 195? I was like 175 in October. So that's 20 pounds. And a lot of that is attributed to the shake I'm about to make. I feel like a lot of where like my mental fog was coming from was just anxiety coupled with like a lack of good physical fitness. You're walking in stores all day and you're shopping. I don't think that's enough. At least it isn't for me. So I made the commitment to get back into the gym, and I'm seeing excellent results. None of that is steroids, by the way. Totally clean. I don't take testosterone. Everything's clean. The only supplement that I use is creatine and a little bit of whey protein, which I'm almost out of. But the shake that I'm about to make is like 800-900 calories, and I drink one of those every day, and then I have 3 meals. I mean, a lot of this is, who cares, right? But it's my story and it's my journey. So you guys will probably see a transformation, because once I get to 210, I think like 210, 215 is where I would kind of maybe hit a wall. And I'm only making an assumption here, like maybe I can grow myself. My frame is tall and lean, so I'm 6'2", so maybe there's some room there. But to get to 215, like absolutely lean with complete dedication to both nutrition and working out, which I really only do just full body stuff right now. I don't do muscle group splits or anything like that. I feel like I'm too old, and with my lower back issues, like I want to just hit something that feels good. So I'll do some pushes and some pulls, but maybe towards the end of February, I'll start to do muscle splits again. But I feel like I would maybe plateau around 215 or something like that, but let's burn that bridge after we cross it, right? So, I mean, that's still 20 pounds away, which would be incredible to hit before even the year is up. I don't know if it's going to be possible. It was easy to put that first 20 pounds on because I just simply wasn't eating enough, so calories had a lot to do with that. But the shake that I am making right now absolutely helps. So I'm gonna put this thing together now. All right, here's a quick rundown of everything that goes in this bad boy. So I've got about a half a cup of almond milk. I've got some ice and a full banana in there. This protein powder I ordered for my daughter. I'm trying to get it in focus, but she doesn't use it, so I'm going through it. This isn't normally the protein powder that I would be using. This is just, you know, something that was primarily, I guess, for her for weight gain, but I've been using it just to go through it. So I'll put a scoop of this in here. It's 75 calories. The most important part of the thing that I make is this Kate Farms drink, which is the bulk of the calories in this. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to get it focused. 325 calories, tons of vitamins and minerals. Let me get a focus. There we go. There we go. And I love the taste of this. So Kate Farms standard chocolate. We're going to throw one of those in there. I usually do a half cup of the oats dry, just like this, another 75 calories. 2 monster scoops of peanut butter. What do we have here? So in 2 tablespoons, it's 180. This is more like probably 200 calories because I use heaping tablespoons. And then this is the creatine that I would recommend everybody use, Thorne. It's the one that I think was one of the most rigorously studied. Creatine, by and large, good for you in normal doses. I think both men and women would benefit from using this, but I mean, whatever, you know yourself better than me. So I'll use a scoop of this, and normally I put either spinach, a cup of spinach, a cup of kale, or half a cup of each in there. I'm not putting any of that in here this time because I don't want to overdo it. You're eating like a cup of spinach and a cup of kale on a daily basis without stopping or kind of taking a break. You know, everything needs to be done in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Like too much of even a good thing could be bad for you sometimes. So I'm pumping the brakes this week. I'm putting the kale and the spinach in there, but lots of macronutrients in here. And that is everything. That comes to about 850 calories. And I think that's everything that goes in there, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going to fire this thing up and we're going to chug it. Here's some ice cubes. This is a Vitamix blender, and for some reason, it doesn't get the ice all the way every time, which is weird. So I could hear the ice fumbling around the blade. We're gonna have to do this, run this one more time to get the rest of it. Looking good. All right, let's do a taste test. Tastes amazing. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna climb our way to hopefully 3,000 listings. Set goals right from the start. I think that is extremely important, especially for somebody like myself who just sort of wings it sometimes and gets to a certain level of like micro goals that I'll hit throughout the year. But I think setting a few big macro ones at the beginning will really help me. And so I encourage you to do the same if you are not a goal setter. So let's see if I can get to 3,000 listings. I've got 12 drafts ready to go on day 1, which is lovely. Got some sourcing out of the way, got the fitness out of the way, or at least the nutrition. So my caloric intake, for those of you that are interested to know how I'm going to make this work, is 3,000 calories right now, which is actually really easy for me to hit. If the shake is around 800 to 900 calories, that doesn't leave like that large of meals, and I'll have 3 very clean meals. So got to ditch like the soda pop, which I have a tendency to drink a lot of.
and there will be less trips through the drive-through, but we are on a journey and I've seen immediate results and I want to see more of them, albeit I understand that they're going to happen slower. So 3,000 calories, the shake is in the books. I've got one more large meal to eat. What time is it? Recording this around, I don't know, 3 o'clock. So one more large meal, maybe I'll throw a snack in there or something like that. And we are going to make 2025 the best year out of all of them. So thank you for listening to me ramble. You're going to get a lot of this probably in the future as I just change the format or the way I deliver content to you. There will be a lot of reselling in it because that's what I do naturally. But like I said before, sometimes we're just going to sit down and chat. But I hope all of you are happy and healthy. You had a tremendous end to your 2024. Please set some goals. If you have goals for 2025, I want to know what they are in the comments. Speak it into existence, write it down, and then let's see if we can hit some of these goals together, whether it's personal, whether it's business, it's a combination of both, whatever it is. My number one goal outside of all of this, naturally, I think, is I don't want to miss a recital. I don't want to miss a pediatrician visit. I don't want to miss a school function. I want to be available as much as I can for all of those events for those two little girls because little else matters to me in my life. So that's all I got. Bye.